In the Star Wars galaxy, the Force isn't just energy. Jedi see it as something to serve, to live in balance with. But for the Sith, the Force is something to master. And at the core of their dark philosophy is a Sith Code. A short, powerful mantra that's guided generations of Sith Lords. This code isn't just about anger or hate, it's a declaration of purpose, a promise of freedom, but only for those strong enough to seize it. So where did it come from? What does it actually mean? And why do some Sith ignore it altogether? Let's dive in. The Sith Code was written nearly 7,000 years before the rise of the Empire. It came from a fallen Jedi named Sorza Sin, one of the first to turn away from the Jedi Order. Along with others like her, she left the Jedi behind after the 100-Year Darkness, a brutal conflict over the dark side of the Force. She and her fellow exiles found the red-skinned Sith species on the planet Zioist and quickly rose to power among them. There, Sorza Sin wrote the Sith Code to lay the beliefs of this new order. One built not on peace and self-denial, but on passion, strength, and personal freedom. Later, long after the Sith Empire fell to chaos and ruin, Darth Bane received the code. He saw it as the heart of what truly meant to be a Sith. He used it to rebuild the Sith under the rule of two, a master and an apprentice, no more, no less, to keep the order from destroying itself again. Here's the full code.
Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall set me free.
At first glance, this might sound like pure villain talk, but there's more going on underneath the surface. Let's break it down.
Peace is a lie. There is only passion.
This line goes directly against everything the Jedi believe. The Sith see peace as a false comfort, something that keeps people weak, blind, and complacent. To them, passion is life. It's what drives people to grow, fight, and evolve. Passion isn't just rage, it's ambition, love, desire, even hope. And the Sith embrace all of it.
Through passion, I gain strength.
By accepting your emotions, especially the ones the Jedi suppress, you unlock your true potential. That fire inside of you, it's not weakness. It's power waiting to be unleashed.
Through strength, I gain power.
Once you've tapped into your passion, you get stronger. Not just in the Force, but in willpower, confidence, and presence. Strength is the stepping stone to power, the ability to influence others and control your own destiny.
Through power, I gain victory.
For the Sith, strength means nothing if it doesn't lead to results. Victory is the ultimate proof that your path is working. And not just winning battles, victory can mean overcoming fear, outsmarting enemies, or surviving when no one else can.
Through victory, my chains are broken.
This line is key. The chains are anything that holds you back. Fear, doubt, weakness, rules, even death itself. The Sith believe that breaking those chains is the final step to becoming truly free.
The Force shall set me free.
Unlike the Jedi, who serve the Force, the Sith believe that the Force is a tool, a means to liberation. Mastery of the Force leads to total freedom. Not just political freedom, but spiritual and personal freedom. Nothing and no one can control a Sith who has truly followed the code. The Sith Code is often seen as the dark reflection of the Jedi Code, and in many ways that's exactly what it is. It flips the Jedi philosophy on its head, where the Jedi say there is no emotion, there is peace. The Sith say peace is a lie, there is only passion. But it's more than just rebellion for the sake of rebellion. The Sith genuinely believe their way is better, that emotions shouldn't be feared or locked away, but used as fuel, and that through struggle, people become stronger, and that by embracing their full selves, they can break free from the limits the Jedi didn't even realize they have. Some fans and writers have compared the Sith Code to real-world philosophies, especially the ideas of Friedrich Nietzsche, who talked about the will to power and creating your own values. Others point out that the code also shares disturbing similarities with authoritarian ideologies that glorify strength, struggle, and domination. Interestingly, the Sith Code we know today wasn't even part of the original films. It was written by David Geider for the 2003 video game Knights of the Old Republic, and later became a key part of Star Wars Legends lore. Geider said he wanted to create something that sounded noble, but also a little dangerous. Here's where things get complicated. Even though the Sith Code is powerful and dramatic, a lot of the Sith we see in the movies don't even really seem to live by it. Take Darth Sidious or Palpatine, for example. He's calm, calculating, and rarely driven by raw emotion. He uses others to do his dirty work and keeps his passion buried under layers of manipulation. Then there's Darth Vader, who starts as a passionate warrior but becomes cold, restrained, and conflicted. Even Darth Maul, who seems like the embodiment of rage, spends years quietly plotting revenge, not rushing headfirst into battle. Though Darth Maul does quote the Sith Code in an episode of the Clone Wars.
For victory, my chains have broken the chains. The chains are the easy part. It's what goes on in here that's hard.
This has led some fans to argue that the Sith Code is more of an ideal than a reality, a kind of dark inspiration that the Sith are taught, but one that few actually live up to. Once they gain real power, many Sith abandon raw passion in favor of control, strategy, and secrecy. In fact, fans have pointed out that the Sith Code reflects what the Sith say they believe, but not always how they behave. Some put it, this is why the Code doesn't reflect the Sith we know in the movies, and they're not wrong. The Sith Code is a bold statement. It tells you that strength comes from passion, that victory leads to freedom, and that force can set you free. If you're strong enough to control it, that is. And honestly, it's a tempting idea. In a galaxy where people are told to obey, submit, and let go, the Sith Code says, feel, fight, win, and be free. There is a reason, however, that the Jedi fear it. Because the same passions that drive someone to greatness can also lead them down a dark, destructive path. Anger becomes cruelty, desire becomes obsession, and power becomes tyranny. That's the paradox of the Sith. They offer freedom, but only through domination. And often that domination ends up consuming them. Still though, the Sith Code remains one of the most powerful pieces of writing in all of Star Wars. A challenge to the status quo, a spark of rebellion, and a reminder that the line between hero and villain is often drawn in the shadows.